Welcome to episode 9 of season 1 of the Neutral Zone. So today, Stomps and I are going to be taking on a very different approach with the show. As you can see, we don't have our usual slides. That's because today we're going to be raw, uncensored, and ready to share some real facts and honest impressions of what went down the past few days, including Woodridge, last night in Palatine, a little bit of the COVID talk, and maybe if we're really adventurous, we might talk a little bit about this election, but I doubt it. I'm staying away from that. I think Stomps would like to as well. So with that said, welcome to episode 9 of the Neutral Zone. Stomps, how you doing tonight?
Doing well, Nav. A lot of people have been asking about the show, so here we are. Do a little off-the-cuff discussion with not much pre-planning, but I got a few notes here, some things I want to discuss.
I'm really happy to hear that you took notes because I didn't take any notes, but I would like to ask you first and foremost, what the heck happened to the Aztecs?
It's tough to say. Besides, you're playing a game, and sometimes you're going to lose, and we just fell short. I mean, all the games, we didn't get blown out of a single game, really. So there was none of that happening, and there shouldn't have been. But I don't know. We just, inopportune moments, things happen, and you lose hockey games. I mean, that's life. I really like our roster. I mean, I can't even tell you how many people came up to me yesterday, included. What happened to you guys? You look at your roster. They'd be running down the guys we had on our team, and it's just hey, it's a little learning experience. I've won tournaments. I've won a lot, but I've lost a lot. You learn more from your defeats. Last weekend was interesting. We had as you know, the weather conditions were pretty brutal. But I got to tell you, when I got out on the floor, I wasn't even thinking about it. I mean, I don't think I was really impacted. It was more an impact standing on the sidelines, trying to stay warm and keep the muscles warm and stretched and all that good stuff. So, yeah, this must really be off the cuff with this strange music that keeps floating into the show.
Well, I mean, when you're off the cuff and you're looking at the iPhone to look at the Hockey Monsters app to get all the information,
right?
You get those advertisements. That's what that was. Listen, well, I had to go ahead.
I got to mention one other thing.
Sure.
So on Monday, this is, obviously the day after, I think it was Monday morning, I get a text from Eric asking me how he would like me to have the team deposit returned to me, the Aztec money, because I put the $100 down so our team could play.
Yeah.
And that really hurt me because, the Aztecs, the body of the Aztecs was barely cold and 6 feet under, and he was already just ready to throw the money back to me. And that was hurtful. I'm just kidding, Eric. But
I know you are. I mean, if you think about it, the way I look at it, he's definitely managing his treasury department well. So Well,
Well, he does manage everything well, but I mean, it was so that's enough about the Aztecs. How about
well, no, it's
the
not enough
9 inch?
about the Aztecs. Hang on, if you don't mind, if you don't mind, with
All
all
right.
due respect to the Aztecs, I'm going to give them a little more respect. And we're going to talk a little bit about the 9 inch males in a second here, I'm sure. I'm sure you'd like to say a few words about them, as I would. We had a round robin of 4 games, and we went 4-0 to finish first place. I'm going to say this in the most sincere way possible. Our toughest game in that round robin was against the Aztecs. I am telling you, it was a 1-goal game, right, Stomps? 5-4?
Correct.
And you guys threw every single thing at us. I was not feeling very optimistic about that game. Going into that game, I thought we matched up nicely. I would have given you guys a little bit of the edge with the talent and the experience. I personally feel like goaltending, our goalie has been playing really formidable throughout the tournament. But I just got to give your team a lot of credit. I know you didn't get the result you wanted, but amazing game by Miles. Winning the player of the game. I think he scored 3, maybe 4 goals in that game. Was it 3?
I think it was a hat trick.
Yeah, he played well. I had to cover him
Yeah.
in the power play that you guys had late in the game that we had, fortunately for us, killed. But he was a handful. Him and I thought that Chris Bauer came back and had a stronger performance in the second Sunday. So that's about it. And then the last thing I'll say is you suffered an injury in that game, and it startled a lot of people. You got hit with an errant ball in the side of the neck, and everybody was worried. And you'd taken care of yourself, which was good. Any updates on that?
No, I'm fine. I mean, it's weird. I think it's a combination of things. First of all, those balls hurt. We all know it. We all block shots. Um, um, but the coldness affects it too, right? I mean, just being that much colder outside, it was just a shocking. It just blindsided me. It was like being shocked, really.
Right.
And it left a mark, but
Good.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Well, I'm glad you're
But
okay.
our team really battled hard. I mean,
Yeah.
top to bottom, front to back.
Yeah.
If we had to do the tournament all over again, I'd go with the same. I'd be happy with the same roster of guys, and maybe the results would be different, right? You never know. I mean, we had to play the playoff game against a revamped Dolphins team that was a combination of 2 teams. Yeah, I'm not making an excuse, and those guys played well, so credit to them. But
You handle it like a true professional.
it could happen. Different outcome next time.
What else did you want to cover? I know you had something else you want to talk about. Not with you.
Oh, that was well about you guys. I mean, I think I think you feel like the 9-inch males are still. I think you're doing this on purpose because I think people like to play the underdog role and like everybody's against you and nobody's giving you the credit you do deserve. I'm giving you the credit. You're 5-0 right now in this tournament, so you should be favored personally.
Well, we're not going to be favored, and we're certainly not looking for accolades from anybody. We prefer fighting for every single point. We take every shift one at a time. I will say I don't want to talk too much about my team, but I'm going to call out my players because I promised them I would, and they're going to be listening here to the neutral zone. I'm going to go from the back to the front. I have to tell you, very pleased with Art's performance on the opening Sunday as well as the second Sunday. I thought he stood up to the puck, played really well, communicated with his players. He's motivated, and he's got that desire to win. So happy with Art. I think he's been a real big part of this puzzle for us. In terms of defense, I mean, I'll just do a quick shout out. I mean, we had an important goal from Ryan Matera against you guys on the power play. He tipped a shot from the point. And then
Who shot that one, by the way?
yours.
That was like that was like one of the quickest power play goals ever. You guys scored like 2 seconds into the power play.
I had more room than I had thought I was going to get. But I will say Peter's been steady back there, and really an X factor for us is Edwin Armstrong. He's come and he's played. He's been such a big part of this team, a leader, communicating with everyone. And then Ganutek's experience, getting in the right places at the right time, a two-way game. I don't want to forget anybody now. Ryan Kanoy playing really well for us, scoring some big goals for us. He's unloading that nice cannon of a shot. And I won't forget the play of Josh. I thought he played against Gabe really well in that final game of the round robin. He had an assignment. He stuck to it. He was motivated. And then, it goes without saying, we've talked about Dan Bruner a lot on this show in terms of his game, his ability to score. He's hard to cover. He's been playing a very surprisingly, a very good two-way game. So I'm happy with this team, just really overall happy. I think we got a lot of work to do, and I still do not think we're the favorites. We're clawing for every single win, and we'll continue to do so on Sunday or the following Sunday when we play against the Goblin Sharks, who are definitely the favorite.
If you say so. Shall we? Let's just take a quick look here. So, a week from Sunday, first game at 8 a.m., you've got Immortal Kings against Death. Can you remind me, because you probably have the information at your fingertips, which team is Immortal Kings again?
Immortal Kings is Eric's team, I believe.
Eric.
Yeah.
So Eric and Carlo and Timmy and company against Billy Jacques, Shelley, Frank, Jeremy, the Death team.
Yeah. You're talking about Death. If I could just quickly interrupt you for a brief moment. We want to send our special best wishes out to Joe Gleason and his family.
Yeah.
He's given me special permission to share with you. His wife unfortunately contracted COVID-19. That's why he wasn't there at the last Sunday of the tournament. And then he was symptomatic. I think he was scheduled to get a confirmation. I spoke to him on Sunday. I think we wish him the best as always. He's just a great guy to have around the rink. But I want to say that that's a gaping hole for Death to lose both Joe Gleason and Patty Gleason. Wish you the best.
Absolutely. I mean, and if they have to miss a week from Sunday, maybe Frank and Eric will allow me to re-enter the tournament as a special member of Death. I mean, hey, the Dolphins got to bring their thing together with the porpoises, and so why can't I re-enter to help Death if they're going to be two men short? I mean, that's a blow. But we'll see what happens, right? I mean, I can't speak for Joe's situation. Maybe he can play a week from Sunday. So
well, I think definitely you've lobbied pretty hard, and I would support that. So Eric, if you're listening at home on your couch, sitting with your dogs, wearing your Hockey Monsters beanie while watching the election counting, they consider maybe counting Stomps in.
But yeah, so there's okay. Well, I mean, so that's the first game.
Yeah, that's going to be scheduled for 8 a.m. And then the next one is what's the next one, Stomps?
Wrecking Balls and the Dolphins.
So the Wrecking Balls are the team that we beat in the first round of the playoffs.
Which is
that's Anthony Martino, Rocco in net, I believe.
Scotty.
And Scotty Tuhati. And Sam and
that'll be a good game. I mean, because like I said, the Dolphins for our game brought I don't know why his name is escaping me now. They brought another goalie, a guy who plays frequently at I think his name starts with a J, and I'm blanking out here. I apologize, but
Jordan.
They brought him to play goal.
Yep.
And he's a good goalie. I mean, he's a structurally sound positional goaltender. So
I would agree. I think he's a good goalie.
No disrespect to the other Dolphins goalie. I'm just saying, I'm more familiar with Jordan. So
no, and I think one thing that we can't miss with this matchup between the Wrecking Balls and the Dolphins. I don't know if you recall, you might have missed this, but during the round robin, they had a big rivalry that was brewing. They got into
all the same two teams.
That's the same two teams. So there's no love lost there.
Eric ordered them off the court.
Yep.
threatened to pull their $100 or forfeit their $100 fee. So,
Right.
okay. Then we've got you guys, 9-inch males against the Goblin Sharks. So, thinking that you both teams are possibly the top two, and maybe it's just how the chips fell. I mean, why are you guys playing each other?
I think that's just the way it's set up because we both survived in the winners bracket of the top four. We won our first playoff game, so we remain in the playoff winners bracket. If we lose or they lose, one of the teams drops into the losers bracket, but it's not eliminated.
Okay.
I understand.
Yeah, and then after that is you got a winners bracket game, or two winners play each other, and then a losing team from one game plays a winning team from another, and then it works its way to the
Yeah.
finals.
Yeah.
So this will be wrapped up by early afternoon, it looks like.
Yeah, and I hope we get the game, weather permitting, right? That's a week before Thanksgiving, right? Or maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah, but 9-10 days before.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll see what happens. I mean, we're going to be playing at Woodridge Sunday, and it's supposed to be brilliant weather. So, hey, it'll probably, let's put it this way. I predict for the final of the tournament, 34 degrees, 15-mile-an-hour wind with flurries. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be too off there. Any notables that you want to talk about in the tournament in terms of what you've seen in terms of player performance?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't watch a whole lot of last Sunday again because number one, because of the cold made it hard. You didn't want to just stand around watching, quite frankly. And then after our first game, and then I got hurt at the end of that game, I went home. So then I came back. So I did get to see little story here. So we saw the Southside Cobras come back late to tie death, which forced a shootout. And the first goal by death was scored by Chelly, which I remember. This is going back. And we talked about this. It was 6 years ago or so. We had a tournament at North Avenue Beach.
Right.
Apparently, we were playing your team in the finals, but I don't remember. All I remember is
The Chicago City Flyers.
yeah. So game went to the shootout in the finals, and I remember it came around. It was like, I don't know, we were tied after 3 shooters or something happened. And then, our team was trying to decide who takes the shot, and they wanted Chelly to take it. And he deferred to me, to his credit. He said, "Stop, you take the shot. You got good hands, better hands." And I did score in that, but then we still ended up losing. But so Chelly scored. He went in. He's well known for the blasts from the point. Kind of went in about maybe 20 feet out and took a little. There's no wasted motion with him. It was just like kind of in between a snap shot and a slap shot, a little low shot, scored. Then Frank scored. He almost mishandled the ball going in on his shootout goal. In fact, it was close to, because you got to keep your momentum going forward on a shootout. You can't stop Anyway, he almost lost control of the ball, but then he scored, and that was the game.
Yeah, a couple of things on that with regards to the shootout. So that game was in Death's command. They had a 4-2 lead.
Right.
And then Sabatini, who's had a pretty good offensive production tournament, coughed up the puck, I believe, on the last 2 comeback goals for Southside. So I would say, their coaching staff might want to revisit the situations in which they put him on. Maybe he should be on when they're, trying to come back or in a tie game or something, but trying to prevent a lead. It doesn't look too promising for his defensive play there.
Well, I can't say whether it's true or not because I didn't see those plays, but sounds like he's not going to be a Selkie winner anytime soon.
Yeah,
Right.
I would second that. Listen, our best goes out to John Trapani. I think he's going to continue to play, but I had a chat with John. He's battling through a groin injury, and he's an experienced guy, positionally sound, loves the game, loves the show. So special shout out to our friend John Trapani. I'm hoping you're nursing that injury nicely as you get ready. Maybe you take Sunday off and just get ready for the tournament because Death is going to need your veteran leadership. So yeah, that's those. Any other notable things that you wanted to share with people about the tournament?
Not really. I mean, well run. Oh, let's give a shout out to Sammy for handling for the most part, all the referee duties and doing a good job. I do think I wish somebody had a little legitimate whistle because there's been a number of times where there's been whether somebody might be hurt or there's a delayed penalty and you don't know when to stop play because there's no whistle. I mean, I know you got to kind of self-police that stuff, but anyway.
No, I hear you.
But Sammy's done a good job. Sammy's done a great job.
Sammy's doing a great job, and I'm just even more delighted to see him back at the rink. Couple of things over here just to highlight. I know we already talked about the Aztecs, but I will say in that playoff loss that you had, big game for Gabe with the 3 goals. In that game, he scored all your goals actually in that playoff game. So that's something to note. In a loss, he got a hat trick, 100% of your scoring. I think it is notable to state one thing as we're getting ready for the next round of the playoffs. In the first round, the Goblin Sharks played the Immortal Kings, and they won 12-2. So when you take those 2 rosters and you put them together and you have such a one-sided affair, I think definitely the Goblin Sharks are the favorites.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't heard of any other injuries. I was really pleased, Stomps, that we didn't hear about any more COVID news at the tournament. Seems like everybody on the south side is healthy, and I'm hoping that their teammate that contracted the virus is doing much better. It's been over 10 days now, so hopefully they feel better. But they seem all pretty healthy.
As you would expect. I mean, for the most part, young people, even if they get it, they're going to probably be fine. So.
Did you notice that there was a couple more players on Sunday that were wearing masks while they played? I know I did for the first period of one of the games.
I wore a mask for both games, and quite honestly, it was fine for me because with all the wind and the cold, it actually helped. Now, on the flip side, last night in Palatine, I tried to use a mask, and I only lasted 1 shift with it because I really couldn't breathe. I was having issues breathing, so I had to ditch it.
Okay.
So
well,
that's yeah.
Unless there's anything more to talk about with the tournament, just a reminder: this week, Sunday, the tournament will not continue. It'll pause, and then they'll start the following Sunday because of the Pittsburgh tournament, which I imagine is still happening.
Yeah, the most of them are headed there tomorrow, and they have 3 games. I think the first game in Pittsburgh is Saturday around 1 p.m. thereabouts, and then they have 2 other games the rest of that afternoon. So, like between 1 and let's say 5 p.m., they have 3 games.
Good luck to that. Are we going to get any live footage or feed from what's going on over there?
Well, Gabe's dad, Julian, was offering to do some, and I don't know if he was joking or serious, but he was offering to do some coverage of the tournament. So maybe we can reach out and take him up on that. I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, we could definitely do that. So good luck to them out in Pittsburgh. We wish you guys the best. Come back, represent Team Chicago well, and we're hoping you come back with a championship. But you did a nice segue into Wednesday. You want to do a quick, brief overview
Yeah.
of what happened last night. I wasn't there, unfortunately, but you were, so you have all the insight.
So Lou made the teams, of course, dark and light, and for the first time in quite a while that I can remember, anyway, we had a game where there was no trades needed. So I was on the white squad, and we jumped out to a 2-0 lead, and then they came back to take a 3-2 lead, and we went with 2 goals because we scored those 2 goals fairly early. We went for quite a long time without scoring again, but at the end of the day, we prevailed 6-5. It was a really good game. 2 goalies, Bobby D against Joe Coletta. We were supposed to have 3. We only ended up with 2. So they went the distance.
Who
Played
was the third goalie that didn't show up?
Dave Nelson.
Okay.
And so I got my 3-star picks in no particular order. But I'm going to go with Josh, who was on the dark team. So he scored at least 2, perhaps 3. He had a really strong game. I got to give it to Ganutek. He had a hat trick. Also, a little bit of controversy towards the end. We were protecting a 6-4 lead. It was about a minute and a half left, and Bruner got the ball and kind of almost a partial breakaway. And Ganutek set this totally blatant pick on one of the defenders to free up Bruner. And I know that didn't sit too well with the individual who was victimized by that pick. But
Do you know who that individual was? Do you remember?
I want to say it was Kevin Contreras, maybe, because
Okay.
he plays goal, but then he plays out sometimes. I think it may have been him. And then both goalies played well, but I got to give it to Joe Coletta because he was our goalie, and he was probably the busier of the 2, and he made a number of great saves that really kept us in the game, quite frankly.
How'd you feel about the 7:45 slot?
Oh, it was fine. It was great. I
Was it
mean,
more hockey? Was it more hockey? Did you end earlier?
well, we played to 9:05, so
Okay.
it was fine. It worked out fine. Just a couple of, so Brian Dudek gave us a nice shout out for this show. He seems to like it. So, and I don't know Brian all that well, but seems like a great guy and appreciated his comments. I also heard through Lou that Latham, he plays goal a lot.
Yeah, I know him. Yeah.
But he was playing out, and I didn't see this, but he apparently took a shot, a slap shot in the kidney area. And he was really, I mean, it apparently stung him enough that he got home and he vomited,
Oh my God.
yeah. So he was obviously, I mean, there's certain, you get hit in that area, I'm sure it's got to really get you. So,
Do you remember who took the shot?
no, I have no idea. But obviously, well wishes to him. Hopefully, he's going to be fine. But
Hey, speaking of, you said 3 goalies, or 2 goalies were there. Speaking of goalies, I wanted to do a little shout out to Dave Schmiel with his knee injury. We haven't been able to cover that in a while. He was bummed out. He couldn't play in the tournament. Sounds like he's on the men though. Any updates on Dave Schmiel?
Well, we know he got a cortisone shot in the knee, but he may need to have an MRI. So I think he's still trying to figure that out. And so he felt really good after the shot, but then I think the next day it was sore, and so I don't know how I didn't get an up to date update on his situation. So I asked him about his knee. It's been a few days, so I would imagine not much change on that front. So
we wish him the best.
Yeah. We're a bunch of old guys. We got a lot of people get hurt. but hockey's a game where the injury is part of it. So, and now we've got illness, and for some people too. So, hopefully everybody. I like to see everybody healthy and out there, but yeah.
I agree. Well, listen, I think this is a wrap for the show. I think we covered a lot of important topics from the tournament to the injury report to Pittsburgh to last night in Palatine. If you got nothing else to share with the audience, we'll close, Stomps.
No, hopefully everybody enjoys. Have a good weekend. I'll see whoever I see at Woodridge this Sunday for a resumption of scrimmage play and in some nice weather. So looking forward to that, and good luck to the boys in Pittsburgh and to everybody who's left in the tournament at Woodridge. I'll be there at some point to observe and cover some of the games, and so I'll be able to talk about the tournament when we talk about how it ultimately ends up. So looking forward to that.
Thank you, Stomps. Appreciate that. We look forward to continuing to be competitive at that tournament. You have tuned in to season 1, episode 9 of the Neutral Zone. We thank you for allowing us into your living rooms, and we look forward to bringing to you our first double-digit episode next week. So with that said, have a good night and stay safe. From Nav and Stomps. Back and forth through the kitchen. Remember when the nights we spent out seemed so far away, distant in the dream.